Hi, cat. Hey, it's me. Hi. Sorry, my kitty is right here, wanting to cuddle, cuddle buddle, cuddle buggle. Hey, how's it going? It's November 21st, Saturday. It's 11:30 p.m. and my name's Jared Earl Casey. You can call me Jared Casey. And I'm at my apartment in Midvale, Utah. I just got home from work at California Pizza Kitchen, and it was a pretty good night. Not nothing crazy. I was happy to be there though. I was gonna work tomorrow too. I picked up a shift, but then I forgot that I let it go or released it, and so someone else picked it up. So I don't have to work tomorrow anymore. So that's good. My mom, um, let's do a cap on the day. We I woke up at what time did I wake up? About 7. And of course, this voice in my head was like, "You need to go to the gym right now." I'm like thinking, I'm like, okay, I'll get out. So I got out of bed and I started get ready, and I go to the door, and then I realized, oh, I have a dance class at 11 at the gym. It was about 8. It was about 8 o'clock, maybe 8. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you know what? Actually, I have a dance class at 11, so I think I'll go around 9:30. I get there at 10. I'll work out for an hour, and I'll do the dance class. And he's like, no, you need to go right now. You need to go you need to be there by 9 a.m. I'm like, no, I have a dance class at 11, so I'll get there at 10, which means I'll leave at 9:30. I don't want to go right now and be at the gym for 3 hours or 3.5 hours. And he got really mad at me. And I got kind of upset because I could tell that he really meant it. He was like, you need to go to the gym right now. But I was like, no. I was just combatant, I guess, because I'm so sick of voices in my head telling me what to do, and I don't even know who they are. I've never met them. Not that I don't trust him, but I just don't know who he is. um, and that kind of set the day off to a negative tone. Before that, we'd had a great conversation. And I can't remember what it was about. Something, I guess it started last night. Or was it? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, something about people in the 1950s. It's always people in the 1950s in my head. But anyways, I got to work, and about midway through my shift, my mental health just totally like downshifted. I had a really hard time. And my mom called me while I was at work and said that my dad basically experienced something similar and was having a really hard time with the idea of me coming over to stay the night because he was concerned about COVID, and um, he was just kind of freaking out about having a visitor at the house. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to give him COVID. I don't have COVID, and we don't even talk to each other at all. Almost, we're never even in the same room. But if I go to the same room as him, I can put a mask on, and he can have a mask on, and there's no reason to be paranoid about getting COVID. And I come over every week to stay the night. So I was concerned about that, but she's like, he just isn't thinking straight today. I'm like, well, I experienced something similar in the middle of my shift. It was really difficult. um, but I recovered from that. I'm a little embarrassed, but and I want to say I'm sorry to whoever that man is in my head. Um, I think he's a good person, probably. I just just have a really hard time with hearing people that I can't see, or at least even know who they are or know their name or anything. It's just not. It's just not who I am. So I mean, anyway, so I had my mom said she might come over. She would come over and stay the night here, and we could just do stuff in the morning. And so that's what she's doing. So she's in the bedroom, and I'm gonna sleep on the couch tonight. Woo woo woo! And yeah, so that was kind of my day. I feel okay. There's all this talk in my head about future and right now, and someone was saying that I'm from the future. I'm like, well, I guess we're all from the future, from the past, right? Because that's where we come from and that's where we're going, or vice versa, or however you want to look at it. Or if we're all coming together, we could just create a whole new path or whatever, which would not negate the future. I think it would complement it or support it, be like a little spine. So we'd have many futures, but each of them real or something, I think. But and all of them good and loving and supportive and talking to one another and seeing one another and all these great things. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. So we've been trying to, I just didn't really I wasn't at a place of peace today. I was until I wasn't. Look at the stomach. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm squiggly. I'm not squiggly. What's it called? Fidgety. I'm fidgety. And so I guess I disappoint a lot of people, which I hear that a lot. But I say that a lot about the world, just how disappointing it is. And so maybe that's why I hear that. And I remember people saying that, you get what you put out there or whatever. And so I'm hoping that I've also put some good out there. And I do believe that good is more impactful or powerful than negativity. Although that also can really seem to drag us down, especially if we're surrounded by it. Or I guess if it's just coming from one person who doesn't really know what they're doing, So that's why I'd really like to shift my life more into love and positivity. And sorry, I feel this is an awkward place to sit. I'm gonna do this. You know how dogs do this? There we go. That is my shirt from work. Looked really weird. Okay. So that's that. That's my day. That's my day. So let's read. So what do we got today? Oh, all right. This is chapter 9, the acceptance of the atonement. Section 2, the answer to prayer. So section 1 was the acceptance of reality. Section 2 is the answer to prayer. So everyone who ever tried to use prayer to ask for something has experienced what appears to be failure. This is not only true in connection with specific things that might be harmful, but also in connection with requests that are strictly in line with this course. The latter, in particular, might be incorrectly interpreted as proof that the course does not mean what it says. You must remember, however, that the course states, and repeatedly, that its purpose is the escape from fear. Let us suppose, then, that what you ask of the Holy Spirit is what you really want, but you are still afraid of it. Should this be the case, your attainment of it would no longer be what you want. This is why certain specific forms of healing are not achieved, even when the state of healing is. An individual may ask for physical healing because he is fearful of bodily harm. At the same time, if he were healed physically, the threat to his thought system might be considerably more fearful to him than its physical expression. In this case, he is not really asking for release from fear, but for the removal of a symptom that he himself selected. This request is therefore not for healing at all. The Bible emphasizes that all prayer is answered, and this is indeed true. The very fact that the Holy Spirit has been asked for anything will ensure a response. Yet it is equally certain that no response given by him will ever be one that would increase fear. It is possible that his answer will not be heard. It is impossible, however, that it will be lost. There are many answers you have already received, but have not yet heard. I assure you that they are waiting for you. If you would know your prayers are answered, never doubt a Son of God. Do not question him and do not confound him, for your faith in him is your faith in yourself. If you would know God and his answer, believe in me whose faith in you cannot be shaken. Can you ask of the Holy Spirit truly and doubt your brother? Believe his words are true because of the truth that is in him. You will unite with the truth in him, and his words will be true. As you hear him, you will hear me. Listening to truth is the only way you can hear it now, and finally know it. The message your brother gives you is up to you. What does he say to you? What would you have him say? Your decision about him determines the message you receive. Remember that the Holy Spirit is in him, and his voice speaks to you through him. What can so holy a brother tell you except truth? But are you listening to it? Your brother may not know who he is, but there is a light in his mind that does know. This light can shine into yours, giving truth to his words and making you able to hear them. His words are the Holy Spirit's answer to you. Is your faith in him strong enough to let you hear? Sorry. You can no more pray for yourself alone than you can find joy for yourself alone. Prayer is the restatement of inclusion, directed by the Holy Spirit under the laws of God. Salvation is of your brother. The Holy Spirit extends from your mind to his and answers you. You cannot hear the voice of God in yourself alone because you are not alone, and his answer is only for what you are. You will not know the trust I have in you unless you extend it. You will not trust the guidance of the Holy Spirit or believe that it is for you unless you hear it in others. It must be for your brother because it is for you. Would God have created a voice for you alone? Could you hear his answer except as he answers all of God's sons? Hear of your brother what you would have me hear of you, for you would not want me to be deceived. I love you for the truth in you, as God does. Your deceptions may deceive you, but they cannot deceive me. Knowing what you are, I cannot doubt you. I hear only the Holy Spirit in you, who speaks to me through you. If you would hear me, hear my brothers in whom God's voice speaks. The answers to all prayers lies in them. You will be answered as you hear the answer in everyone. Do not listen to anything else, or you will not hear truly. Believe in your brothers because I believe in you. And you will learn that my belief in you is justified. Believe in me by believing in them, for the sake of what God gave them. They will answer you if you learn to ask only truth of them. Do not ask for blessings without blessing them, for only in this way can you learn how blessed you are. By following this way, you are seeking the truth in you. This is not going beyond yourself, but toward yourself. Hear only God's answer in his sons, and you are answered. To disbelieve is to side against or to attack. To believe is to accept and to side with. To believe is not to be credulous, but to accept and appreciate. What you do not believe, you do not appreciate, and you cannot be grateful for what you do not value. There is a price you will pay for judgment because judgment is setting the price, is the setting of a price. And as you set it, you will pay it. If paying is equated with getting, you will set the price low, but demand a high return. You will have forgotten, however, that to price is to value, so that your return is in proportion to your judgment of worth. If paying is associated with giving, it cannot be perceived as a loss. And the reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving will be recognized. The price will then be set high because of the value of the return. The price for getting is to lose sight of value, making it inevitable that you will not value what you receive. Valuing it little, you will not appreciate it and you will not want it. Never forget then that you set the value on what you receive and price it by what you give. To believe that it is possible to get much for little is to believe that you can bargain with God. God's laws are always fair and perfectly consistent. By giving, you receive. But to receive is to accept, not to get. It is impossible not to have, but it is possible not to know you have. The recognition of having is the willingness for giving, and only by this willingness can you recognize what you have. What you give is therefore the value you put on what you have, being the exact measure of the value you put upon it. And this, in turn, is the measure of how much you want it. You can ask of the Holy Spirit then only by giving to him, and you can give to him only where you recognize him. If you recognize him in everyone, consider how much you will be asking of him and how much you will receive. He will deny you nothing because you have denied him nothing, and so you can share everything. This is the way and the only way to have his answer, because his answer is all you can ask for and want. Say then to everyone, because I will to know myself, I see you as God's son and my brother. Well, I heard a phone alarm. I was like, "Mhm." um, so sometimes his language gets me a little bit. I'm like, I have to read that again. But all prayers answered. I like that. And that is indeed true. The fact that the Holy Spirit's been asked for anything will ensure a response. There are many answers we have not yet heard. Listening to truth is the only way you can hear it now and finally know it. So it's so strange because sometimes I read here and I'm like, he's talking to me. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm the one talking. And then other times I'm like, he's talking to them, which is also me. And I'm like, okay, I think I get it. And then later I'm like, I don't get it. um, so I'm going to say that here I've realized I need to, because he says here, the message your brother gives you is up to you. What does he say to you? What would you have him say? And I'm I'm like, okay, what would I have my brother say to me? I'm like, okay, so I need to be more like that. And I need to stop thinking that people hate me. Because I think that a lot. Like, I think everybody hates me. I don't know why. I guess because I'm kind of a not very high achieving person and I'm confused and I get upset, which I know is not of God, right? Because how could we ever get upset or be confused if we're totally in alignment with God? So I know that that's me being over here, being lost, right? But so I'm like, okay, if I would have my brother be gentle, loving, caring, and honest with me, or joyous and forgiving and patient, then shouldn't I be those things? Or I need to see him, I need to perceive him as being gentle, loving, caring, honest, direct, joyous, patient, forgiving, right? And I do that. And then other times I have my other brothers that or people that I see, brothers and sisters, I should say. And I'm like, I don't know if I trust them, right? And so then that's the message that they give me, I guess, is what this is saying. But I don't get that. I'm like, how do we break the cycle? Even if I don't think I can trust you, you just need to just not make me think I can't trust you, even though you can't make me think that because I was already thinking it. But that's the message I'm getting from you. Not you, not me. Just this person, like someone. I'm like, I don't trust you. uh, I hate it. This is all so crazy. And there's just so much coming up. All these memories. I'm like, I think think I remember this. I think I remember this. I remember getting shot. I remember all kinds of things. I'm like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Anyways, I like where he says, I love you for the truth of you, as God does. Your deceptions may deceive you, but they cannot deceive me. And knowing what you are, I cannot doubt you. So, he doesn't doubt us, and I love that. And it was a little hard at the end when he's talking about valuing pricing and stuff, because I'm like, there is no price. There is no price. But now I'm like, he's talking about a price. What am I talking about? I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to have to ask Jennifer Hadley about that. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm so tired all of a sudden. So I'm going to go to sleep. I'm like, it's getting all fuzzy. So I love you. Sorry, this wasn't the best reading tonight, but usually they're better. It happens. Oh, tomorrow is the correction of error. So I love you. Have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you later. Mwah. Okay, bye. Chupua.